What we have right here is a brand new pair of earbuds from Sennheiser that offers you amazing sound quality at a much more affordable price. But that might sound familiar. Last month we had the Sennheiser CX. These are the Sennheiser CX Plus earbuds, and the goal here is to give you essentially all the fundamentals of a flagship, meaning powerful ANC, great sound quality, great comfort, all of those features into a more mid-range style price. But of course, in a world where we have so many different earbuds in the mid-range price category, you really need to stand out. A couple years ago, it was basically the default to sell for $180. And now, because there are so many earbuds in that price, a lot of companies are kind of splitting. You have a dichotomy of the market where some earbuds are super premium for like $300 or $400, and other ones are surprisingly good for $80 to $100. So, is there still space for earbuds selling at $180? Well, Sennheiser thinks there is. So in this video, we're going to dive into these earbuds and see what Sennheiser compromised on and what they're able to deliver at this price. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. I'm Mike O'Brien, and like I said, we have the Sennheiser CX Plus earbuds. But I want to start off with what's actually different about these earbuds. We know that Sennheiser released the Sennheiser CX Buds, which I absolutely loved, and we talked about those last month on the channel. But when you look at these, at first glance, you might say, all right, well, they're an extra $50, and the only real difference is the active noise cancellation. But that's not true. They added some other things as well, including smart pause, transparent hearing, and aptX adaptive, which is more of a big deal than you might realize. More on that later on in the video. But regardless, let's see if it's actually justified this $50 price increase. So starting off with the physical design, you'll see that it is a strikingly similar design. The case still opens on the top, and it does get scratched rather easily, so you're going to scuff this realistically. Not the most premium feeling case, but hey, it's a case and it gets the job done. On the back, we have USB Type-C charging. We have an indicator light on the front. This, unfortunately, does not have Qi wireless charging. That's something I really wish they did add. When you're going to that $180 price, it kind of becomes a bit of a standard. As far as colors go, we have two options here, as always. Sennheiser always gives you a white and a black, no other crazy colors. So they're going to be pretty basic as far as aesthetics go, but I don't think that's, again, necessarily a huge drawback. The black ones, I think, look pretty good, and the earbuds themselves, well, they look like Sennheiser earbuds. They're a little bit on the bulky side. They have a touch control on the outside. And on the inside, you can see we have our nodes, our proximity sensor, because these do have autoplay and auto pause when you put them in your ears or take them out. That's a feature I love to have. If somebody comes over and talks to you and you're, say, in a podcast, taking the earbuds out automatically pauses it, and then you don't have to rewind and try to figure out exactly where you were. It's a feature that I think all earbuds really should have. As far as the fit goes, although these are a little bit on the bulkier side, as always, I said this with the Sennheiser CX Buds as well, I think they're surprisingly comfortable. Like, I can wear these pretty much all day. They don't feel weird. Like, simple shape like this seems to work really well. Looks-wise is a little different. Of course, these are sticking out a little farther than I would like, but again, the comfort and security, I think they did a pretty decent job. And it goes to show that you don't need some kind of crazy design to fit in your ear really well. Yes, I'm talking to you, Samsung Galaxy Beans. Something I really like about the touchpads on these earbuds is that they are fully customizable. So if you go within the Sennheiser app, and I'll show you this later in the video, you can actually customize these to do pretty much whatever you want. And the last thing I want to point out are the many holes on the outside of these earbuds that are the microphones. Now, historically, Sennheiser has not had the leading microphones in the market, but they're definitely passable in most earbuds. So let's actually get into a test and see how well these perform. All right, so these are the Sennheiser CX Plus earbuds with the onboard microphone indoors in a studio environment. But of course, you're not always going to be in a quiet place. So let's go outside and see what they sound like in a noisier place.
All right, so this is what the microphone sounds like with a trash truck going behind me. Otherwise, there's really not a whole lot of breeze out here. Another car. You can leave a comment and let me know if you can hear what I'm saying.
And just as a side note, if $180 for these is a compelling price, you might also be interested in the new AirPods 3 that just came out, and I'll be reviewing those in the next couple days. If you want to see that video, definitely go down and click that subscribe button and the bell icon so you don't miss that video. Now, like most of my videos, I started off talking about the physical design and the microphones, but neither of those are really the strong selling points of these earbuds. Like, looking at the design, it's passable, but it's not really that exciting. So those are not the main reasons you'd buy these. Instead, you'd probably be buying the Sennheiser CX Plus buds because you either want the features or, more specifically, you want to get that active noise cancellation and that sound quality. Sennheiser has always been known for sound quality, especially on this channel. They've been winning the best sounding earbuds for the past couple years, and so we'll get into an analysis of these in just a second. So let's talk about the features on these earbuds. The first thing is that with Bluetooth 5.2 now, we finally have mono mode. I can listen to just one earbud at a time while the other one is in the case, and that can help you to extend the battery life if you want, which is already pretty long. They're claiming 24 hours when you include the case, or you can just use it to have one earbud in while you want to hear your surroundings or something like that. But speaking of hearing your surroundings, you don't really need mono mode for that. These also have what they call transparent hearing, which is just like a transparency mode, the same as we're seeing on a lot of other earbuds, and that's something that we don't see on the cheaper Sennheiser CX buds. It's something that I really like having on these. Hearing your surroundings, I think they do a pretty decent job of that. It sounds pretty clean, pretty natural, not like the best out there, but definitely very passable. One frustration I have with these earbuds is that the power on seems to be kind of slow, so when you take them out of the case, put them in your ears, you have to wait a couple seconds until they actually turn on. They also don't technically have multi-pairing, so you can't connect to two phones at the same time, but you can connect to two phones separately and then use the app to switch between them. So it's almost like having multi-pairing, but it's just not quite the same. And you can't really talk anymore about features without talking about the app that these come with. Now, the app is called Sennheiser Smart Control. Honestly, whenever I'm searching my apps, I always forget that it's called Smart Control. I wish it was just called Sennheiser, but it is what it is. And when you look at this, you can see that we can tap on the earbuds themselves and you can customize, like I said, exactly what you want the touch controls to do, to switch between transparent hearing or play pause, things of that nature. You can really customize them any way you want. On the bottom, you can see what I said about connections, where you can switch between different devices. We have an equalizer there, which of course Sennheiser has. There are two styles of equalizer. They have this little parametric one, and they've got the bars if you prefer that. It's a little bit easier to use the bars, but once you get used to it, parametric still works as well. And then, of course, if we go into settings, this is where you can really toggle a lot. I don't know why they put it over in settings, but ANC, you can turn that on and off here. Of course, you could also turn it on and off with touch controls on the earbuds. And Smart Pause, like I said, allows you to automatically play or pause your music when you take them out of your ears. I think it's a nice thing to have. You can also see what codec we're using. These do have aptX as well as aptX Adaptive, as I mentioned, or if you have an iPhone, you'll be using SBC or AAC, some slightly lower quality codecs. All right, so now the main reason that you'd probably be buying these earbuds, the sound quality. I want to start off by talking about the codecs. I mentioned that we have AAC, aptX, and aptX Adaptive, but aptX Adaptive is a relatively new one we haven't really seen before. And so there's a couple advantages to this. The main purpose of it is to have a more stable connection. So aptX Adaptive means that when you're in more crowded RF environments, so radio frequency environments, you really won't have as many problems. You also have a lower latency on these, so I was measuring about 300 milliseconds, where typically a lot of earbuds are somewhere around 450 to 500. So for gaming, that's a big positive there. Most other apps like YouTube and any other video app will automatically adjust for you, so you won't notice the latency anyway, but for apps that don't, that's a positive. And of course, it also adapts to have a more stable connection. Like I said, that's kind of the main purpose of having aptX Adaptive. But codecs aside, the sound quality itself is as good as you would expect. Of course, being made by Sennheiser, it has really fantastic spatial awareness. Like, you can really hear all the different instruments, good separation. It's very crisp and rich and full. They have a nice warmth, so very capable bass, but definitely not overpowering. And so, as always, I've always really liked the sound signature of Sennheiser. I think that for most genres, it's very well balanced. And of course, with the EQ, you're able to dial in exactly what you want. So really, to summarize the sound with these earbuds, I have a full playlist. You guys can check it out on Spotify. I'll have a link below. But I found that in pretty much every song in there, you're able to hear a lot of the details. It's very full, it's very rich, and it's just a sound signature I've always really been a fan of. And then, of course, one of the big differences with these earbuds is the active noise cancellation. The ANC on these earbuds is smooth and clean, but compared to something like the AirPods Pro, which are pretty much leading the industry right now, or at least up there with Sony, I found that what these are able to block up to volume 16, the AirPods can do up to volume 20. And what I mean by that is a test I've done on this channel before, where you choose a white noise and you play it through a speaker from some distance away, and you turn the volume up until you can hear it through these earbuds. Of course, it's playing by itself through a speaker, and so it was able to block it out, like I said, up to volume 16 on these buds. volume 20 on the AirPods, so still very powerful and very clean, like I said, but not going to be competing with the best out there. But of course, these are meant to be a mid-range pair. They're selling for about half the price of a lot of the premium ones out there, and so we wouldn't expect it to get all the way up to volume 20 like the other ones. So volume 16 at this price, I think is very impressive. But really, in conclusion, $180 is definitely a tricky space because, like I said, you have so many earbuds that are either more expensive or cheaper. And so for people who are on a budget and they just want a good pair of earbuds, it's hard to recommend these over just the basic Sennheiser CX buds, being that they both sound really good and they have almost the same exact design. And then anyone who's willing to spend that extra $50 would probably also be willing to spend an extra $100 or $150 to get an even more premium pair of earbuds that has, for example, wireless charging and things like that. So I think that these are a fantastic pair of earbuds, and if $180 is your budget, then these are a great buy. But keep in mind, you could either save money and get mostly the same experience, or pay a little extra money and get an even better experience. But you can leave a comment below. What do you think of the Sennheiser CX Plus earbuds? Are these something you'd buy, or are you going to pass on these and maybe wait for hopefully a flagship to come out from Sennheiser? I want to hear from you guys in the comments below. As always, if you enjoyed this video, consider liking and subscribing. I'm Mike O'Brien. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.